and welcome to my channel. In anticipation of the Battle Nexus crossover comic that should be coming out, I believe it's coming out Christmas Eve day, we are going to review the last somewhat attempt at a crossover comic. A writing trope that I have always found annoying is the small magic man that shows up to mess up the lead character's day. This is one such character, Mr. Og. He appeared in season 3 of the original Ninja Turtles cartoon. I actually saw it fairly recently on the Amazon Prime has like a 24-hour OG Ninja Turtles cartoon channel. And it just happened to be on. My sister was over and we were just chit-chatting, so I was kind of watching it, but even just kind of watching it, it gave me such anxiety. It was a mess. And this is also kind of a mess. The writing for this comic series is, I'd say on a whole, not stellar. I think it's fine at the best of times and annoying at the worst of times. And I only pick up a story every once in a while from this series. The art is always good. The art is always phenomenal with this series. I wish the writing was better, but it's not. I specifically picked up this particular issue because of the crossover. In a lot of the Ninja Turtle communities I'm in, everybody started talking about this because of this cover. We've got 2003 Donatello, we got 2012 Michelangelo, we have Rise Raphael. These three excited everybody, and so we were expecting some big crossover with these universes, and it was supposed to be a lot of fun, and everybody was stoked, and then it came out, and nobody really talked about it because I think we were all disappointed. But we're just gonna go in. This is actually part of, I think it was like 3 issues, maybe 4 issues of the storyline with Mr. Og, where he, no doubt, shows up for no reason, just to mess up their day and then disappears. That is my guess. I only got this issue for this crossover. I didn't expect to need to know anything else. This part explains what's been going on. They're having some sort of competition, I guess. Why? Because that's always the reason for these type of villain tropes. They just show up because, and then they leave because. It's you can tell I do not like this trope. And this trope has been going on for quite a while. One of the earliest ones I can think of as an example, the magic guy from Superman. He has a really hard name to say. It's just like a bunch of letters. You guys know what I'm talking about if you're a Superman fan. Or like the Great Kazoo that appeared in the Flintstones. Just some magic dude that shows up, is a pain in the ass, and then like there's no reason. They just are there. Yeah, let's not judge. No, I'm totally assuming he shows up for no reason or for some kind of revenge or whatever and just like wants to be a pain in the ass. So they're doing some type of like games or something where I'm assuming there's 3. There's like 3 rounds, and I think the previous one the Turtles won the first round, and he says the fate is getting completely erased from the universe because apparently that's something he can do now. That wasn't necessarily something he could do in the show, but apparently this is now what he could do. Vague over what his powers actually are, but apparently it's everything. He can just do everything. And so the next round, he wants them to fight other Ninja Turtles. And you notice there's 5. They put Jenica in here for some reason. You notice she's not on the cover. Like, they're like, no, we don't. They didn't necessarily want us to know that they put Jenica in it for some reason. And they don't even say her name, I don't think. If you read this, you'll notice there's a lot of emphasis on like dream, nightmare. Gee, I wonder why. We got all super excited because we got 2012, 2003, and Rise. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of the fans that watch the shows, they're not ready to give up on any of these shows yet. Like, we want more. We want more of all of these universes, especially 2003. For me, personally, I would have liked another season of Rise. That would have been great. 2012, I think, went on too long. Like, I'm good. I'm good with all the stuff we have with 2012. But a lot of 2012 fans would like more stuff. But I really like here Raphael's like, hey, this isn't fair. There's 5 of them. There's 4 of us. And he says, can't we have Mona Lisa? And I was like, yes, bring in Mona Lisa. But he's like, no, it's 5 against 4 for reasons. There's no reason. There's no reason for anything that having to do with this character. And Leo's like, well, what if I don't want to fight? Because I don't want to fight fellow Ninja Turtles. And he's just like, that's too bad. He says, that's too bad. I'll erase them from existence too, because clearly I can bring them over here. Leo's so cute in this, though. He's just always, you know, like in some seasons of the cartoon, he's a little stressed out. He gets this kind of whiny voice sometimes, but in this one, he's really cute. Like, he's very Leonardo-ish. He's like, we'll figure out a way we can do this. Don't worry about it. And so here we find out what our lineup is. So we got Mikey against Mikey, Donnie against Donnie, then Raphael and OG Leo. Once again, there's no reason. And then Leonardo, they put him up against Jenica, and he's already like, let's work together. And Jenica's like, nah, no, we're gonna fight. And I actually really like this line. Like, there's some cute dialogue in here, even though the story is stupid. Leo's like, Master Splinter taught us that there's always a way to defeat the bad guys, because she's like, you're not gonna defeat Mr. Og, we're just gonna fight. And he's like, but there's a way. And she's like, did he teach you how to use your swords offensively? And I feel like this should be bolded right here. And he's like, I don't want to hurt anybody. But, you know, Jenica does not care. Raph and Leo, this is kind of a cute scene too. They're fighting and, you know, Leo's doing the OG dialogue and Raph's kind of like, only my dialogue is cool. So these dinosaurs show up and Leo's just like, oh, these guys are going to mess with our battle, huh? So he just goes and beats up the dinosaurs, and Raph's like, holy shit. And now he's like, now we can do the real fight. And then once again, you're dreaming. Like, they keep, you know, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Okay, and then here's the 2 Donnies fighting. And of course, they're just like chit-chatting and stuff while they fight. They figure out a loophole in the fight. They were told if one of them throws the fight, that the other one's gonna be removed from existence. But then if they just decide not to fight, it's not gonna do anything, because they're not really throwing the fight, they're just kind of calling it ties. But like, this part kind of confuses me, and I don't know if I'm just not getting it. O3 says we can't decide this ourselves, the one of the others will have to decide. And I don't know what that means. Like, decide what? And why can't they decide it? Whatever this means. He's like, will your brothers do whatever this nonsense is? And he's like, I don't know, man, my brothers they do what they want. Which I feel is the proper answer to any group of Ninja Turtles. They do what they want. And we get to the Mikeys, which of course it just ends with them. They're like, hey, let's go get pizza. Mr. Og's like, that's bullshit. He's got like a little devil, like a shoulder devil and a shoulder angel. And I kind of like this violence thing. But then as they're eating, 2012 is just like, or maybe what we were doing is I'm distracting you all along. And then Rise Raph shows up because we haven't seen him at all. And he punches Michelangelo. And I actually do kind of like this breaking the fourth wall here, where he gets thrown through all the different universes and everyone's like, oh, there goes Mikey. And then he ends up in the last one. This is kind of a cute thing that you could only do in a comic. I don't mind this at all. This kind of humor and this kind of visual gags that you can only do in the medium that you're in. Since Michelangelo, technically, he's still conscious here, but they say he got knocked out. And Leonardo's cute here too. He's like, okay, so we lost, whatever, like, let them go. And he's like, nah, there weren't any real turtles here anyway. And we find out that Creepy Eddie was the entity that like brought these like dream turtles into the fight, because apparently Mr. Og can't do that. He can do all these other things. He can erase you from existence, which pretty much doesn't that just mean you kill them? Isn't that what that means? You can do all these other things, but Mr. Og can't do dream stuff for whatever reason. So they bring in Creepy Eddie, who appears in the old cartoon, but he appears in the Halloween special, and that was actually pretty good. I liked the Halloween special. I meant to review it this past October, but I just had so much else going on. Yeah, so the Creepy Eddie shows up, and I don't know, like, can I show the whole thing without getting slap on the wrist from YouTube? But then, like, Mr. Og just, he, like, traps Eddie in a jar. Like, he's all, oh, because apparently he can do that, but he can't. Like, it makes no sense. And then in the end, he's like, now for round 3, we're going to have you fight, like, all your villains. Which seemed kind of interesting. I almost bought the next one, but I really don't care. Like, I was just so disappointed that these weren't real, and because I totally thought that we were gonna, like, maybe go into these different universes and see more than these characters. Like, we'd see all the 2003, all the 2012, but it didn't happen. So I was just really disappointed, and it was just kind of lame. You know, it felt like a tactic to get people to buy this comic, and it did, but I only bought this one. I didn't care about the storyline. I definitely, like, as soon as I found out this villain wasn't, I was just like, oh no. He's the worst. Like, he's not fun. He just stresses me out, and there's no reason he does anything, and you never understand what his powers are, or, like, what you can do and not do against him. Also, he looks stupid. I mean, this little elf on the shelf looking motherfucker. Like, you would think that practically any type of villain the Turtles go against would feel in universe, because they can do fantasy, they can do magic, they can do sci-fi, they can do horror. Like, there's no genre that the Turtles really can't do. But this guy is just, like, he's just so out in left field. I don't know, it just doesn't feel, when he's in it, it almost doesn't feel like a Ninja Turtle story, you know what I mean? I also don't speak for everybody. I'm sure there's people that really like this villain and think it's really fun to do something this off the wall. I was in the comic book store once, and I had a discussion with one of the workers about this particular comic book line, and it was a discussion. We were arguing, but like neither of us were mad about it, you know. He saw that I was looking at all the Ninja Turtle comics, and he was like, people really like this Saturday Morning Adventures, and I'm like, yeah, like the art's really good, but the writing isn't that great. And he's like, well, the old cartoon was just kind of silly like that too. And I'm like, yeah, but the people who watched those as children are now adults. They want to go back to this universe, but I think they would appreciate like a more elevated type of storytelling. Don't we deserve better stories if we want to go back to this universe? He's like, yeah, but people like it. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, they can like it, but I really wish the stories were better. And he was like, "Kay." You know, and I was like, "Kay," like, we weren't mad or anything, but I think the excuse that it was made for kids, or like the writing was bad then, so why does it have to be that? I think that's a dumb excuse. Maybe it's not for everybody, but I would be so stoked if somebody asked me to write Ninja Turtles, because I have loved Ninja Turtles practically my whole life. To then not give it your absolute best and just bring just solid storytelling, and maybe this is their best. I don't know. I don't know this person that writes this particular storyline. I know the artists bring their A game. The art is so good, but the storylines, they're hit or miss, but it's mostly miss. When this comic first came out, I was really excited. I actually didn't even know it really came out, and it was Free Comic Book Day, and I grabbed like the first couple issues because I was so excited, and I was like, cool, what if we got like a really good storyline, like a continuation storyline instead of just episodic? Like, I was all excited, and then I read through it and I was like, oh man, the writing it's just like the cartoon, but not like the good episodes. Because they're, like, legit, the first 5 episodes of the cartoon are really, really good. Like, there's quality, and people put a lot of effort, and then it just got so stupid so fast. I don't know what else I'm trying to say. Like, I'm rambling now, but feel free to let me know what you think of this comic book series if you're reading it. If you have any favorite particular issues you would like me to check out, or if you want to bitch about, like, a terrible one, that's fine too. I'm completely okay with all opinions. Like, if you like it or hate it, as long as you have a reason, like, that's fine with me. Like, we can all get along, we can all love Ninja Turtles, and I think we can all admit when something's not good, and we can either like it anyway or just be like, well, not this one. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Okay, bye.